Bitcoin will not recover the way we think it will. And this is not clickbait, I truly mean it. It's not going to recover the way we think it will or the way we want it to actually recover. In this video, I'm going to talk about why I'm saying what I'm saying, and I'm also going to talk about Bitcoin chart. We're going to take a look at it, and I'm going to tell you guys what I'm doing to my position and why I'm doing what I'm doing. Now, let's start by saying, let me answer the first question of why I think Bitcoin is not going to recover the way we think it will, and that is because the way we want Bitcoin to recover, I think everyone, including myself, we want to see something like Bitcoin go back from 32K all the way up to 64K in a week, right? That would be amazing. However, it's definitely unhealthy for the market. This means it's unnatural. And another thing is, it's not going to happen. And the reason for that is because, number one, that's not how markets work. Generally speaking, when markets go down or up, it takes a while to consolidate in a certain range, such as right here, we went down all the way from 64K all the way down to 29K roughly, 30K, and right now we're consolidating in this range between these two white lines roughly. And the reason for that is, to put it simply, usually basically the market needs to adjust to that price and get comfortable over there until it goes back up or further down. And comfortable is definitely not the correct word to use, but you get the point. That is to put it simply. Now, the psychology behind this is that mainly people joined here. I'm talking about the retail investors, not the smart money, not the institutions. I'm talking about probably people like you or me. I joined a bit earlier, but there are many people who actually joined around this area right here. Let's say between 42 and 64K. Okay? And let's say you were someone who joined about this area, 55K. Just a rough estimate. Okay? And right now you would be down about 42% on your position, and about a few weeks ago you were down 47%, so roughly 50%. So what happens then? You would say, okay, I'm not going to sell now, I'm going to wait until I gain back some of my losses and then I would sell. So what happened is it climbed up all the way here, and then we saw another sell-off because people said, okay, instead of being down 50%, I'm actually down just 30%, so that's better. I'll just take this 30% loss versus taking the 50% loss. This also causes price to go downwards, and also there's still fear in the market. When the prices are here, people are scared and they're selling at somewhat a better price than selling down there. Also right here, same thing, we jumped all the way back up to about 41K, and we saw another sell-off because, again, if you were someone who joined back, let's say back here, you're gonna only lose 20% versus losing 40%, 43%, which is almost double that. So that's the psychology behind this. And guys, I don't want to tell you what to do, but personally, I wouldn't sell down there because the majority of the losses happened about here. Like in this area, we saw the majority of the downside what happened right there in this area. So I'm not gonna sell down there, guys. I'm not gonna sell down there because honestly, after this sell-off, there definitely should be an upside. However, keeping in mind that if we break below 29K, this area right there, we're gonna free fall down all the way to 19K, almost 20K, and that would be very bad for Bitcoin if this happens. But I personally don't see that happening, and I'll explain why I don't see that happening in a bit. But let me emphasize on this. What I believe people should do now, and definitely not financial advice, and what I would do if I had more capital on the side, is I would buy more. Because people are definitely interested in this price level. We dropped right there. We bought it. Then we went up, then down, 2, 3, now the 4th time. We visited this area 4 times so far. And it has proven that this support would hold. And if we're in a bearish trend, a support wouldn't hold for 4 times, because this only happens in bull markets. Because usually what would happen if we were in a bearish market, it would go down, go up, go down again, go slightly up maybe, and then we would definitely break it if we are in a bear market and the sell pressure is higher than the buy pressure. But the reason why these are holding is because we see institutions buying, and the reason we see institutions buying is by taking a look at this one right there. So this, I believe, is a consolidation phase and nothing else. So it's a accumulation phase. People are just buying, and they're just buying the dips. Institutions are not buying when the price is up there. They're not. They're waiting for a discount. They're waiting for you guys to sell them your Bitcoins at cheaper prices when you guys panic. And if you take a look at this chart right there, this is a chart that shows the Bitcoin wallet sizes with more than 1,000 Bitcoins. Now, these are basically whales. If you have more than 1,000 Bitcoins, obviously you're a whale and you can impact the market somehow. And take a look. So the blue line is Bitcoin price and the yellow line is the number of addresses with more than 1,000 Bitcoins. Now, if we take a look, I'm going to zoom in to this area right there. This was back on February of 2021, where Bitcoin was about $45,000. We peaked. The number of wallets with more than 1,000 Bitcoins peaked. And after that, we started dropping. Now, usually smart money or institutional money is less greedy than the retail investors like you and I, and they're less fearful than retail investors such as you and I as well. So they take profits a bit earlier and they join the market at discounts, because when everyone's fearful down here, when the market is around this area, they would buy. And we can see it right there. So it peaked about right there. So let's say they started selling at 47K and then we continued going up till 63K. When we went to 63K, the wallet size dropped, or the number of wallets dropped from 2,490 wallets all the way down to 2,240 wallets. So that was a pretty big sell-off from whales. Okay, so when they started selling, the price of Bitcoin started going down slowly. And now, if you notice, when the price of Bitcoin is 35K, or roughly between the 30 and the 40K region, people started, or the whales started accumulating again. If you notice, we're going sideways now. Instead of, it seems like we're preparing to go up again. It's not gonna go down, because when something goes down, it consolidates. Most of the time, it's gonna go back up. And I do believe we're gonna go back up because people are, or the whales are interested in buying more and more, and they're accumulating more Bitcoins at a discount. Basically, as I said, they would buy Bitcoins from people who are actually scared and who are panicking. And for that reason, I said I wouldn't sell in this area, because this is the accumulation phase where you must be buying if you have money on the side, and money you're willing to lose, of course. And that's what I would do. Always think about who you want to be following. Do you want to follow the retail investor who's panicking right now and who is saying Bitcoin's going to zero, or are you going to be following the smart money who's actually accumulating right there? And as we can see, the chart does not lie. It shows that we're seeing accumulation, and the whales are buying more and more Bitcoin. So I personally would follow the smart money. I don't know about you guys, but that's what I would do. Another chart I want to take a look at is the relative unrealized profit loss chart. I like this one. It depicts how much unrealized profit there is. So basically people who are still holding their positions and not taking the profits, and in relative to the price of Bitcoin. So the red line is the relative unrealized profit / loss, and this one is the price of Bitcoin. If you notice, there's also 4 different categories. We have capitulation, hope, fear, optimism, denial, greed, and euphoria. Notice how back in 2013, we went up twice. We peaked at euphoria, right? And right here, we didn't even reach, in 2017, we barely touched euphoria, right? But if you take a look at this cycle right here, we're far off from euphoria. We only reached greed. Now, this is an indicator that proves to me that we're nowhere near the cycle top. So I think there's way more room for Bitcoin to grow, and I think we're only going to reach euphoria when Bitcoin goes up to, I would say, 200, 100K, 200K, somewhere between that range. And when this happens, then I would start to believe that we're actually reaching a market top, because people start taking profits, and we're going to see this drop in the red line where people are actually realizing the profits that they made. And right now we're in the phase where it says optimism, denial. And if we compare this to the 2013, so this cycle is more similar to the 2013 cycle. It's not similar to 2017. It's actually different. It looks different. And if you compare it to the 2017, people usually compare it to the 2017 because usually it's when they actually joined the markets, but we should take a look at even previous ones. And if you notice, we went up, we peaked, although we did reach euphoria. Over here we didn't. When we went down to optimism, denial phase, which is the yellow area right here, we pumped back up. And that's what I think is going to happen. And this is confluent with this, where people are, or whales are accumulating their Bitcoins. And that's what I think. Although I'm going to keep an eye out and make sure that if we go below this area, I don't think it's wise of me to sell, but because we might as well see something like a bear trap where it's going to show you that, okay, it's dropping down to 28K, but then the buy side pressure would be so strong that it's going to keep going up. So until I see a clear close below this area right here, let me put the line. So that would be about 28K. If I see a clear close below this, where this candle goes down or a new candle goes down and it closes and opens a new week right there, then I'm going to consider selling and not joining until we get near this area, about the 20, 21K, 19K region. I think it would be smart to do so, but for now, nothing is clear. For all we know, we can see something like this, and that's what I'm betting on. That's why I would buy more if I have more capital. So that's it. That's what I think. I hope this gave you some incentive to maybe even stay in the market or even to buy more. Definitely, I'm not advising you to do so, but that's what I would do. And hopefully this calmed down your panic if you are actually panicking, and showed you that, okay, even though everyone's panicking and I think it's the end of the world, it's actually not. Also keep in mind that if you're someone who's trading on spot markets, basically you're not leveraged, you're just trading with the money you have, or you're just buying and holding and not borrowing money, you're good because you're not going to lose everything. So let's say Bitcoin, it takes another year to recover. That's fine. You're in it for the long game. If you're in it for the short game, guys, for the short term, I'm going to say straight up, you're probably going to lose. Be in it for the long term, because that's when you're actually going to win. Because Bitcoin, like, there's no specific time for Bitcoin to go 100, 200K. It's going to go there eventually. How long it takes, it's up to Bitcoin. It's up to the market. So if you're not willing to wait that long, I would say please don't stay in, because you're going to be disappointed. And also, if you're trading enough money that's going to keep you up at night and you're not able to sleep as good, you're probably trading too much, and maybe you should cut back down and take off some money out of the market until you're comfortable with the money you have in the markets, and you wouldn't care if Bitcoin drops to 10K tomorrow. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe if you're new here, and check out my Patreon. I talk about my trades and what I trade and my life portfolio. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.